Hey guys, thanks for watching another episode of Maersky Draws. This is gonna be a nice, quick episode. I felt like I wanted to do this in conjunction with what Art Hub for Kids just put up on theirs, because they put up How to Draw Gameboy, and being an old school Nintendo head myself, I thought that was pretty cool. I had my son actually draw the Game Boy, because he's also been interested lately in how video games kind of evolved and what I used to play back then. He's really interested in. But I decided to do my own version of how to draw Game Boy, and I actually turned it into Game Boy. My initial thought was, I love a lot what Art Hub for Kids does, and I keep thinking if I'm getting the name right, because Art for Kids Hub. I'm sorry. There you go. Art for Kids Hub is awesome. It's actually supplemented a lot of uh, drawing lessons that I've given to my kids, and it helps my kids do something productive, um, other than doing the normal video game stuff during the summer. And my son has filled up a lot of his sketchbook with stuff that they've posted. So if you haven't um, gotten a chance to check out Art for Kids Hub, it's super awesome, and it gives your kids a nice thing to do that's productive rather than playing video games all the time. But what I wanted to do is my own version of the Game Boy. So I thought back to how I can put my own spin on this, and I like doing anthropomorphic characters. So I decided to do an anthropomorphic Game Boy, and I don't know if that's the right term, anthropomorphic, but it's thrown around a lot for when you want to characterize an inanimate object. So that's what I wanted to do with this, and I did finish this up last night. I just wanted to show the process. So this is actually the sketch layer that I did, and then I'm gonna actually go into my iPad Pro and do the time lapse replay and see if it plays. I don't know that it does. It's a shame. Okay, let me see if this is now live. Okay, so yeah, I kind of just gave it away from that, but what we did, or what I did on there, was I did all the solid line work, which I can actually bring up real quick. Can I just do one? Nope. Okay, so should have been a little bit more prepped, but whatever. So here's the line work that came out of the sketch, and I pretty much followed the sketch to the T. I did make everything a little bit more clean, which is what you're supposed to do with the line work. And I did a separate layer for the flat color, and most of it is actually just flat color. I didn't want to. If you've seen my channel lately, I've been doing a lot of shading and everything like that. But for this, I wanted to keep it with that cartoony vibe, so I kept it with the flat color, and then I added some effects like that little dot that's right there. If you can see that on the top left of the Game Boy, that means that the Game Boy was turned on. And then I put in, I left the sneakers and the gloves white to kind of characterize, sign of the times when the Game Boy came out. A lot of video game characters had white gloves and just like plain sneakers. And then I put in some quick highlights on there. And then here's what got me the inspiration to do this part of the video, because obviously it's right now this artwork is pretty much done, but I added a little Zelda screen, because Zelda was a game that I played on the Game Boy a lot when obviously when I couldn't play my Nintendo at home, we were on the go. And then I thought to myself, what if I turned the Game Boy to Link? So that's what I'm going to do right now. And again, if you want to learn how to draw the actual Game Boy, they do a great job on it on Art for Kids Hub. This is my version of it. If you want to kind of pause the video from what I just showed, the line work and the sketch work, you're absolutely welcome to do that. But what I'm going to do right now is actually just add the Link's shield from Legend of Zelda. as well as if we get this in there. I'm going to add Link's shield from Legend of Zelda and his little sword. Now the reference that I'm using, let me see if I can expand this out real quick. Sorry, just some technical stuff I got to do. So the reference I'm going to use is the kind of the anime from the Majora's Mask Link reference right there. You guys can see that. So I don't need kind of just need the shield and the sword. So just make sure that is good to go. There we go. There we go. So live setup. Okay. So what I'm gonna do, actually no, I just had a thought because I really want to show you the sketch on there. So right now, the way that you're looking at it, the way I'm able to have the iPad view on there, I'm using an app called Reflector 3 on my PC, reflecting the iPad on the PC and able to bring the window here into OBS. And the iPad and Procreate is actually set to project canvas, which keeps the canvas static while I'm drawing. I'm going to turn that off real quick so you can actually see me move around. And I think that'll let me do the time-lapse replay. And there you go, perfect. So check this out. Move that up a little bit. So that's the actual process of the sketching. I'm trying to get a good pose down. I think this took me at least 2 hours to kind of finish up last night. Just getting everything the way I wanted it to go. And I did a new layer for the cleaner line work. And it's going super fast here, but it took me a while to kind of get those sneakers right. Because I'm a sneakerhead, so I wanted to actually get a cool design. And then here I'm laying in the flat color along with some highlights. And then I added the Zelda screen on there and those little accents at the bottom. Awesome. So that's the way that went. It's a 50-second time lapse that from the 2 hours that it took me to do it. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the project canvas back on. So that should just leave it static again. Cool. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna add Link's shield. And what I'm going to do here is add a layer on top of this artwork. I'm going to select the color of the outline so that it matches the rest of this. And real quick, I'm just going to go check some messages. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and... So the cool thing, so since Link's shield is symmetrical, here's a little trick in Procreate. I'm going to go into the canvas. You know what? Let's go ahead and turn project canvas off so you can actually see what I'm doing here. I can actually move this over. Let's see that. Just slightly smaller. Okay, so inside of Procreate, I'm going to go into Canvas. I'm going to go to Drawing Guide. Now, I'm going to go to Edit Drawing Guide. Go to Symmetry. Now, you see that little symmetrical line? It might be a little hard to see. I might darken it a little bit. That might be better. I'm going to put this symmetrical line towards here so that whatever I draw at the moment will be lined up correctly. Yeah, so the way that it's set up is that if we draw something, just example, if I set that up, you'll see another thing comes up on the other side to make it symmetrical. Now, I had the light pen on, so what I'm going to do is go back to, I like to use the calligraphy brush and then monoline, because that gives me a nice smooth line. And then we're going to get started on this. Okay, so with that brush and the canvas set up the way we want, I'm going to start drawing the shield. And again, I'm on a different layer so that I am able to kind of just overlay this line art. And I'm going to go straight into line. I'm not going to do the sketching because I pretty much know how this is going to look. So I'll go straight into the line art. As you can see, everything that else is just happening on the other side. And then I'm going to do a smaller line here. Do that there. So now that I know I have the placement right, I look back, I pretty much like the way that looks. I'm going to turn off the Gameboy layer real quick and then I'll just focus on the shield. So Link's shield has got a circle going here. Now I still have the symmetry on. So I don't like the way that looks, and I think my line is too thick. So I got to be conscious of what I'm drawing on one side is the same as the other one. I've got those two edges here. This way of doing it digitally actually saves some time for me. Also keeps everything nice and clean and symmetrical. And I'm going to be doing my own kind of variations on the shield. I'm not going to do it exactly the way that it looks, but I did just want to know the basic way that the shield looks. And then do it the way I think I want to do it. Which is going to look pretty similar, but again, I like doing my own flair on things. I don't like the way that looks. Cool. Nice. And he's got some rivets going. So, I don't know if I'll do the rivets in color later when I just do the shield color. So I know there's a lot of Zelda fans out there. I don't want to hear. Again, this is my take on how I wanted to do it. So please don't come at me in the comments with the way I chose to do this. It's all good fun. There's the Triforce. That was probably the easiest Triforce I've ever just drawn. Link has also had one of the cooler looking shields. Zelda in general is just awesome. accent at the bottom. You can see too, because I have the symmetry on, kind of just flying through this. Get that line a little thinner. Okay, looks like it's almost done. Get that little bird in the middle. Actually, let's do this first. Three that there. Ah, there you go. Not bad for freehanding it. Cool, I think we're good. So now let's see how this looks with the Game Boy. The placement is good. So now before we move on, I'm going to get that little sword in there. The sword should be a little bit easier to do. Thicker line. And again, one of the reasons I chose this version of Link, it's a simplified version, so. And I have a simplified kind of Game Boy character here, so I thought it would be appropriate. So I'm going to make sure I have that closed up. Because when I go to color, I don't want to reference this layer as the line art. I need everything closed up together. It looks like the sword's going to go off screen unless I make it really small. Well, it is what it is. Now, I made a mistake, I think. No, I didn't. Ah, but you know what's happening. So I just realized I had the symmetry still on. So a lesson for you guys when you Procreate, just if you're doing symmetry and you put something else in the layer, remember symmetry means that everything's going to be even on all sides, depending where you put the midline. So even though I'm drawing the sword and the symmetry is still on, because it's all the way over here, that means that it would duplicate or be symmetrical way on the other side, so it's not able to be seen anyway. So kind of lucked out there, but keep in mind if you have symmetry on, that's going to again make it symmetrical, so it's going to do the same thing on the other side. So luckily it's way over there, so you're not able to see it anyway, but for good measure I'm just going to turn this off. So inside of the layer, see drawing assist, which in this case I chose symmetry, I'm going to turn that off. Okay. He's got that little hilt on the sword. And we're going to have the sword go off page, so he's got it kind of jutting out that way and jutting out that way. He's got the little midline in the middle. Okay. I am going to live with that. And you know what else I'm going to do? I am going to give Gameboy Link's hat. This hat is like that elven hat. That's going to go right there. Oops. A little bit of a thread line here. Should I give him hair? I think we'll leave it. Cool. So right now I'm going to turn off the Gameboy layer again. I'm going to focus on the flat color. So I'm going to do that on a separate layer. I'm going to make the new layer the reference layer for when I want to lay the flat color. And in Procreate, it's pretty easy. So I'm just going to select my color and then just drop it in. And because I'm not doing any complicated shading, I don't have to worry about having each element on separate layers. I'm just going to put them all in one. Got silver for the shield, or gray. You know what? I am going to reference Gameboy's color for the shield, and then I'll make it stand out afterwards. Oops. Okay, on the right. Always got to check if you're on the right layer. Oops. Nice. It's always cool when what you want to do just seems to come together. Put in the middle. Triforce is yellow. The bird in the middle is red. Good. Got the shield done. Okay, now we're going to move on to the sword. It's got that gold hilt there. So I'm going to drop that in. Make this slightly darker here. Again, sticking with the flats. Looks like, you can't really tell from the picture, but it looks like that handle is there. And then we've got blue for the accent. Blue for that bottom jewel. Then we're going to go with a lighter gray for the blade. Well, looks like we're done. Alright, and there we go. this back on. There we go. Alright guys, there you have it. That's my take on the Art for Kids Hub version of how to draw the Game Boy. I want to thank you for joining me on this quick little video that I did. I added the elements of the Game Boy or the Game Boy version of Legend of Zelda on there. Thanks for joining me on that. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you haven't already, check out Art for Kids Hub on their version of how to draw the Game Boy, and then come back over here to add your own elements of your favorite Game Boy games on there too. I'll see you later. Thanks.